Hey, what's up guys? The rank 166 player in the world is using this easy Elite Barbarians Royale Hogs strategy to decisively dominate games early on, to win matches fast, to speedily push up ladder, and just have a lot more fun playing the game. Having high damage defenses with minions, Archer Queen, and Elite Barbarians allow you to reliably shut down any bridge spam, especially when the Royale Hogs right up in front so your opponent can't target what they want. And right when your opponent feels like they figured out how to defend, the Heal Spirit keeps everything alive a little bit longer. Zap and Fireball are reliable support to remove any buildings and distractions so your pigs and pushes can parade on through without any problems. My favorite element of the deck is the constant ability to split up your stuff to take advantage of dual lane pressure. Whether it's with minions, goblins, E-barbs, or Royale Hogs, your opponent will never know which side you're gonna go in. If you don't have Archer Queen, use Musketeer or 3 Musketeers. It's time to parade through with relentless spam and assert dominance. Lots of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag. All right, we got a game against Lucas. What's up, brother? We're gonna be dropping good luck and figuring out what your deck is. Go for the Green Goblins and try to get some delicious damage. Lots of times people will end up going for their small spells on that, freeing up your availability of going for minions or Royale Hogs with them having less spells. Especially if they go in for a log and then you go in for like Royale Hogs plus Heal Spirit and your opponent doesn't have any way of stopping the Heal Spirit from permanently healing up your piggies. That's what I love to see. So I'm going to go in for a Royale Hogs left-hand side. It's unfortunate he had lightning, by the way, on top of our Archer Queen. Oh, come on, man. P.E.K.K.A plus lightning? That's annoying, man. That's just straight up annoying. The cool thing is piggies somehow survive a P.E.K.K.A shot. So he needs a P.E.K.K.A shot plus some help from the tower. That's what we love to see. All right, we're going to go in for Elite Barbarians, and we're going to wait for him to start charging, and then we're going to go for a Zap to delay the P.E.K.K.A shot, and then also stop the Ram Rider as well. Super Sketch might be winnable. I genuinely don't know in this situation. I think that our deck's defenses are slightly good enough to defend this. Heal Spirit pulls back the P.E.K.K.A and the Bandit, so the Bandit doesn't get any extra hits there. It did get one more, but it was going to get more than that, you know? I'm not a huge fan of the Bandit stealing free damage on us. So Minion's going to give us one hit, not as much as we're looking for. Generally in this type of matchup, as you get into later stages of the match, you're going to get screwed if you go same side. Because they'll defend with their Dark Prince or Royal Ghost, plop down a P.E.K.K.A at the river, and then you're forced to defend with the E-barbs and the Ram Rider or Battle Rams coming at you, and you're like, well, I'm just having to overspend to defend. So ideally what you want to do in this type of matchup is try to go opposite lane of your opponent. And then also on top of that, as you guys are seeing, he doesn't have that much splash damage. So we're trying to take full force with our piggies when his elixir is lower in single elixir, so then he can't afford what he wants. Also, if he lightnings on top of the Archer Queen, totally fine for me. I don't really care. Because if you think about it, the Archer Queen right now is going to be a negative trade for him to lightning. And we're dropping our E-barbs pretty far away. So then he's like, wait, I have to go and counter that. And then he's going to have to deal with the Archer Queen. And then we can go for a Zap on top of the Ram Rider. These are type of trades that we want because we're consistently getting positive elixir trades every time. Archer Queen, very hard for him to deal with. He's trying to go in for, you know, the Barb Barrel on top of the P.E.K.K.A so then he can protect it. It's just like not working out as he wants in single elixir. But in double, that's where it becomes some severe trouble for me. It's going to be real because that's how this matchup works. You do not want to get to later stages of the match. You'll find yourself losing a lot more then. So I think I have to Fireball on this because that will knock back the Electro Wizard, the Baby Dragon, and also the Ram Rider. I might lose my tower here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to Zap so the Ram Rider doesn't get a full charge on me. So he's playing this super well. He's not giving me any availability. I got to go for Royale Hogs because I didn't have enough elixir for my E-barb. So I had to make do with what I had. Super scuffed situation, but it's something I can work with. So at 200 HP, I can still take the tower on the right-hand side, and that's what I'm going to have happen here. I'm going to go in for a Barb Barrel counter with Goblins, because the Goblins are going to be able to hopefully do some damage when his Ram Rider is going to be his only defense. And yeah, I think we win. I think we barely walk with a W, because we can pull back the P.E.K.K.A. It isn't going to be able to one-shot on top of the Archer Queen. And yeah, if he ended up taking the tower there on the left-hand side with the Lightning, he wouldn't have had any elixir to deal with the Royal Hogs in the middle, especially with the Minions and the Archer Queen on the back end. When you realize that the P.E.K.K.A player doesn't have the P.E.K.K.A in cycle or cycled in the back, you can attack with your Elite Barbarians fearlessly. Because if they only have low health cards like Bandit that are meant to be on offense, they're going to get shredded in seconds. The only thing you have to be careful of is Ram Rider or Battle Ram pulling your units into the P.E.K.K.A. But if they can't afford it or it's not in cycle, it's an immediate GG. Let's get it. We got a game against someone that finished 311 in the world, so he's probably going to be pretty good at the game. First things first, we're just going to drop a good luck and figure out what his deck is. Don't want to be sending too much elixir at our opponent because Archer Queen is our best anti-air defense. If we're going for a Zap, then we're not going to have any way of eliminating any bait cards. Okay, so whenever we see Zappies, we're going to go in the opposite lane with the majority of the Zappies and maybe try to Fireball depending on what he's going to do. So I expect this to be Royale Hogs with Fisherman most likely. Whenever we see Zappies and Giant Skeleton, that is generally the order of operations from top ladder players. So we're going to go for an Archer Queen here. We should be able to snipe that. And then, man, I wish we were able to kill more than just one there. It's okay, though. We can click the Archer Queen ability right as the Fisherman's about to pull it. And then we should be able to finish off the rest of his units utilizing our E-barbs. It's cool because the Archer Queen runs away from the giant skeleton bomb then because the Fisherman pulled it away. It's like the Fisherman had our best interest in mind. All right, so we want to be able to zap that so that we can finish off the rest of the Spear Goblin hut so we won't have to worry too much. Definitely not the deck that I was like used to playing against, but it's something that we can work with. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, let's go. Minions are going to go back too. That was so lucky. I'm not going to lie. I totally thought those arrows would snipe everything and crush my reality. Fortunately for us, we can go in for a heal spirit and then keep those minions alive a second time. They have a second life out here, and they're living large. They're in charge. And this guy, well, I think he lost. So that's the power of this deck. You defend with minions, and then you go for Royal Hogs in front. And if your opponent doesn't have any small spells because they use them on the goblins, then you're able to go for a heal spirit, and the heal spirit keeps the Royal Hogs and minions alive while you just watch your opponent's tower dive. But yeah, the game was super simple. I fireball Royal Hogs every single time, and this guy couldn't break through. Fireball and E-barbs into anyone that bridge spams is going to have a death sentence. They'll straight up get stomped every time. And after dominating that game, we're top 5,400 in the world. All right, we got another one here. What's up, brother? So he's not going to be cycling anything at the start, unfortunately. We really want people to spam into our minions and our goblins. He's not about that life, though. So we got to take it to him with the goblins, going to get beaten down by the log, and we're going for a heal spirit with Royal Hogs. Generally, when the log is out of cycle, you want to go for heal spirit with your piggies because obviously they're not going to be able to trounce the piggies and the heal spirit for most of the time. Unfortunately, the guy had fireball, and he was really good making sure that he hit everything with that. It's hard to do. Most people will just end up hitting the hogs, and then the piggies will still go through with the heal spirit and then get healed up again. But this guy is a bit different. He's going to drop a giant in the back with log and fireball. So I was thinking that it would be a graveyard deck that I haven't played against before, but I guess it is Sparky. So if you guys are scared about playing against Sparky, just drop your Archer Queen ability, and then you don't even take any Sparky shots. As you guys saw, I didn't have to zap or anything because I was memorizing that interaction. You just drop your Archer Queen ability at the right time, and that's all you need. You shut down the Sparky, and the Sparky's like, wait, I should be able to kill everything. I'm going to go and zap you. And then you're like, nah, fam. I just go undercover. We're playing hide and seek. I'll hide, and then you seek help because you need a little bit more help. You got to go and zap on top of our Archer Queen to stop it from getting that last shot, or you got to go in for a freeze or something. I don't know, man. You got to delay my Archer Queen. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to delay defeat any longer. So we're just going to click that Archer Queen ability again, and I think that this guy left the game, maybe? Oh, no, he's going to try, but yeah, this is a Sparky matchup. It's a free win every single time. Dude, when you get a matchup where you have Zap and Archer Queen against Sparky, you kind of have to try to lose. And we're not about that life. We want to rush up ladder and secure some solid ranks. The Archer Queen ability and the Zap pull the plug from the Sparky so it can never blast anything. We're easily achieving new ranks at 4,400 in the world. All right, so this guy's going to have a Battle Healer banner. Let's see what he's up to. So a lot of times people that run Battle Healer are always running it with Elixir Golem. I mean, it could end up being a weird Golem deck or something that I've never seen before, but I expect it. Oh, no. Oh, that's so sad. Fortunately for us, one of the goblins is slightly delayed, so then the barbarian doesn't hit everything. I don't know if you guys have seen that before, but the goblins always take their time to drop. Like, they're delayed. One drops at a time, so he didn't hit all the goblins there. That miracle last goblin gave us massive value, finishing off the barbarian. And speaking of massive value, our opponent was able to activate King Tower, so not the best start for us in the world. I think it's going to be a graveyard deck, so we drop our heal spirit really far away. Ideally, we were hoping that the baby dragon wouldn't latch on to anything at all. Ooh, he's going to have Battle Healer. Okay. Wow, I actually thought it was too good to be true. That I was like, oh man, we're playing against a graveyard deck. We end up having goblins, we've got minions, and now we're running against something super spicy that I don't even understand. Oh, okay. We're going to go for a zap if he goes Skeleton Army. A lot of times people that run this type of deck will go for Skeleton Army on defense, but it seems like he doesn't have it in his deck. So his Electric Dragon is out of cycle, which is generally the best type of answer to our bait cards. I'm going to try to go and cheese him with some minions and maybe get arrows out of him so then I can go goblins. Okay, not that bad. You know another thing that I can do? I can go in for Royal Hogs, so then the baby dragon locks onto that, and then I can go goblins after to finish off all of the Elixir Golem blobs. And if he arrows, it's going to be a-okay for me because I can go for an Archer Queen to finish off the baby dragon, and I still have the Royal Hogs locking onto the tower and loading up the damage. So, not the best situation, kind of a confusing start for us for sure, but I think we can make this work. Especially if I go in for like E-barbs with the Archer Queen and force out even more Elixir, and then oh, come on. No way. You have lightning? Oh my gosh, I've never seen that with an Elixir Golem deck in my life. I was ready to trounce his towers because I thought that my push was impossible for him to defend. I looked at my deck and I'm like, yeah, if he's got Fireball, it doesn't even kill the Archer Queen, so we're chilling. If he's got Skeleton Army, we zap it away. If he drops a lot of units, we go for Archer Queen Invisibility, Rapid Fire, and then we go in for the E-Barbs just to kill everything else. It's just crazy that it didn't work out, especially with the Heal Spirit as well to, like, aid our defenses and our offenses. All right, since he's got Lightning, he shouldn't be able to cycle back to it immediately. Let's just go for an Archer Queen here and then click the ability and see what we can do. If we can just kill the Baby Dragon, that's a vibe. We're going to go for E-Barbs afterward, and then we're going to go for Heal Spirit and then Goblins a bit lower because he's going to Lightning. He's not going to have arrows immediately, so we should be able to finish off the rest of his stuff with just an easy Fireball. So if I get the Elixir from the Fireball, I think we're okay for a sec. I just don't know how long. All right, so he didn't go for arrows, unfortunately, so I think he's got arrows on top of the Royal Hogs and the Heal Spirit. And I'm going to go for an Archer Queen at the river because if he does that, then he's not going to have that much Elixir to be able to defend this. Notice how he's going to go in for all of his Elixir on defense right now because that Archer Queen is mad menacing for him. We're going to go in for the minions, and then I got to go Goblins on top of Elixir Golem blobs because I want to get Elixir from finishing those off so I can go and fuel my aggression. This is like coming down to the buzzer. I don't know if I'm going to win it, but I need to right now. Please, Royal Hogs, give me the W. Let's go! Beating a dirty Elixir Golem deck despite the dude having Lightning. This deck pulls out some crazy clutch wins, even in situations that seem utterly impossible. In 7 years of playing Clash Royale, I haven't seen a single person playing Elixir Golem Lightning. This guy was the definition of a wild child. All right, we got a game against Albert. So, what's up, dude? We're going to go in for Royal Hogs if you spam anything in the back. Otherwise, we're just going to chill, relax, and maybe cycle our Archer Queen because we do have our minions in cycle. I feel like you can't go wrong cycling Archer Queen in the back if you've got minions and Fireball in your deck, because if they go in for a balloon, you're still going to be okay. Worst case scenario, they arrows on top of your minions, and then you Fireball back the balloon. Come on, dude! We just beat Elixir Golem with Lightning, and now we're playing against this? Another Lightning player. Clash Royale's like, Jake, we're going to play against Lightning arrows every single time. That's what's going to happen. I feel it. I can sense it. It's not going to be a vibe. This guy, oh, I thought it was going to be like a Lobhound deck, but Log and Lightning. It's just got to be RG, right? So fortunately for us, he's probably just going to have Phoenix for these minions, so these minions are able to put in mad work against the Skeleton King. And then we can go E-Barbs on the Royal Giant. He should just lose the Skeleton King. I'm surprised that he clicked the ability. I don't think that's going to do much for him. Maybe he gets a little bit of tower damage, but it's, that's a little bit more than I thought. I guess I'm going to go for a Heal Spirit here, and then we could zap depending on what happens. I also do want to go for an Archer Queen at the river, but I want to make sure that I conserve my Elixir. I'm not going to zap on top of the Skeletons. It's not worth it. Rather conserve my Elixir here. I think zapping here on top of the Fisherman could have been okay, but at the same time, again, like I'm just in such a good and advantageous position with my Elixir count that I don't want to ruin it. If he goes in for a Lightning, he's going to be down a lot of Elixir, and then I think I go for Royal Hogs and I go Minions and I win the game. So I'm hoping he Lightnings on that. I really thought he would. I totally thought he would Lightning on the Queen, but he didn't want to like risk the game. He didn't want to lose right there. It's so unfortunate that he was slightly smarter, you know, when you push up the ranks, people make less and less misplays, but it still doesn't matter. Notice how much damage we're getting with the minions and the Royal Hogs. You guys might be like, Jake, you're such an idiot for cycling your Archer Queen behind your tower when they've got Lightning. Well, look at how much damage he took there. Imagine if he Lightninged. Notice how little Elixir he would have had and how bad the trade was for him, even when he didn't go in for the Lightning. Super smart, sir, to not make that overcommitment. Also, if you go in for Royal Hogs and they go in for a Log on top of the Heal Spirit and the Royal Hogs, then they have nothing for the Goblins. I think he was trying to just like knock back the E-Barb so he could get some sort of damage on a tower, but it didn't really amount to anything. So I'm just going to continuously spam Archer Queens because it just gives you such a good Elixir trade. Generally in this type of environment, you want to drop it near the river so that if they go for the Lightning, they're not able to hit the tower and get too much value. And the Skeleton King's just going to die. So yeah, he's probably going to click the ability. I don't know. I have no idea. These games are just way too easy with this deck, I'm telling you. If you want to push up ladder quick, there's a reason that this is a top 200 in the world. It beats almost everything in the meta, especially when people are running standard decks like Royal Giant. They get really wrecked. So my man went all in for one tower. I don't think he's going to win, though. He's just, like, delaying the inevitable. The Archer Queen's definitely locking on the tower. He doesn't have Lightning in cycle anymore. He goes in for a Log, and then the Archer Queen locks on the tower and loads up the W. GG, well played and peace out, man. Very fun stuff. We're rapidly rising through the ranks. Now we're at 3,800 in the world. Yo, we're playing against someone that finished 90 in the world. Okay, I'm a little bit scared right now. Quantum North, you're all the way up there, man. You are as north as it gets in rank. I'm going to go in for a Goblins at the river, and I'm slightly scared. Is Santa Claus going to go and deliver something to us? Jeez, dude. He's going to go in for Goblins, so he's not going to Royal Delivery, fortunately for us. I was like, if he's going to have Royal Delivery and Log or something like that, would be really bad. So, yeah, we're just going to go for Archer Queen in the back because we end up having our minions. We're okay on defense if he's going to have a balloon deck. I love cycling my Archer Queen in the back when I've got minions and Fireball because, as you guys are about to see, Archer Queen just gives you massive positive Elixir trades every time. It shreds the Phoenix, forces out a Skeleton King, and then puts our opponent in a position where he's telegraphing more of his deck. So I think it could be a graveyard deck. It could also end up being like a Royal Giant deck. There's a lot of differences between those type of decks that, oh, you're going to have arrows though now, huh? Not going to be graveyard, right? Unless it's graveyard freeze. Oh, it's probably going to be graveyard freeze. All right, sir, I see you now. I'm going to go goblins. This is a bit risky. I don't want to cycle a zap either. I guess I have to zap just to guarantee that the goblins don't do any damage to my tower. I was hoping that we could hit all the goblins with the zap, so I was like, it's whatever. Generally, in these type of matchups, when you're playing against a graveyard player or a presumed graveyard player, in single elixir, that's where you're going to get all of your damage. In the later stages, they're going to be able to afford their counters to you, whether it's Skeleton King. Oh, arrows and poison in the same deck? Dude, I don't think I've ever seen that before. At least with graveyard. Most of the time, it's like Barb Barrel because it has better synergy. But that's interesting. Whatever, man. We're going to go in for the Arch Queen ability because you're probably going to drop something on top of it. I just don't want to risk it because the Arch Queen is so low health anyway. And then, I can go E-Barbs, and then I can go in for minions on top of the Skeleton King, and I think that's going to be our best bet. I might also take a ton of damage, but I'm banking on the fact that he has to defend against the E-Barbs so that I don't have to spend as much elixir on defense. If we can keep our opponent on defense, we don't have to do it, you know? You have to do it for me, sir. Awesome. I love that the minions are going to be waddling the left-hand side away from the Spear Goblins. And he's like, dude, I got to go for Goblins now. This is so unfair. I didn't want to do that. Also, usually 2 Goblins you can ignore, but not when they're getting tanked for by Spear Goblins. I'm going to go for Goblins here because we saw that he has arrows instead of Barb Barrel. It's a negative trade for him. Barb Barrel is 2 for 2, and it's not that good if we go and do that trade. But if you're going to have a bad trade, we'll take that every single time, man. All right, we can go for another Archer Queen. Generally, in this type of matchup, what I like to do is I like to win the battles at the river so then he can't go in for a graveyard. At least that's what I'm hoping for here. So we'll see if he decides a graveyard here. Okay, I'm going to Fireball, and I'm going to click the Archer Queen ability when all this stuff gets closer. And then I'm pretty confident that the Archer Queen just melts his units. Solid stuff. I could have went E-Barbs. I think I'm going to go E-Barbs other side, and then I'm going to go Heal Spirit and try to bait out his arrows. Generally, that's what I like to do, because if you can bait out arrows, then you're able to get a lot of value with your minions on the graveyard. And also, oh man, a little uncomfy. Not gonna lie, it's not my favorite spot. I have to Fireball on this, and then our Goblin Split will do something, but yeah, he's gonna arrows it. I guess I'm gonna go for minions. I could have alternatively went in for a zap, but the minions will give us more of a threat over time, so I'd rather do that. So his arrows are out of cycle. Let's go in for all of our elixir on the left-hand side and probably get a ton of damage because the Royal Hogs are going to get unimpeded. He doesn't have enough elixir. So that huge elixir advantage allowed us to get almost his entire tower down. So he's definitely going to try to graveyard here. So let's go for minions and then go for another set of Royal Hogs so that he can't go for the graveyard and he always has to be on defense. That's the motto with this deck. If your opponent's on defense, that's how you win. We're going to go in for a zap on top of the Spear Goblins. Oh, no, not going to happen. I guess we got to go Archer Queen here. All the damage on the left-hand side. 2 Fireballs would win me the game, but it's a bit of an adventurous play to cycle it. So I'm going to go in for Goblins, and then I'm going to go in for E-Barbs, and then we can click the Archer Queen ability again, just on the right-hand side to force out some extra elixir, ideally. If we can kill the Spear Goblins, that's also decent for me as well. I'm going to go for minions. He's probably going to arrows on this. I'm hoping that we can Fireball on the Skeleton King ability if he decides to spam a lot of stuff with it. All right, we can stop this from crossing the river. Then we can go in for Royal Hogs, and then we're going to go Goblins on defense. He can't arrows on that unless he wants to. Oh, man. I don't know. I have to Fireball and I have to zap. Please. Let's go. Wow. That was fast thinking because if I didn't Fireball on the Phoenix, I didn't have anything to tank for it. So I'm like, please, just like knock it back fast enough. Allow me to have a little bit more breathing room so I could go for a Fireball and a zap. And the Royal Hogs went through because he went in for arrows, so he didn't have enough elixir for his Goblin Hut. Oh, that was such a good win. That is the best way to end the day. Let's freaking go. You gotta love stomping all over the dirty Goblin Hut graveyard decks. The later the game gets, the easier it is to afford poison and arrows to protect the graveyard skeletons from our minions and goblins. Luckily, we were able to outplay just enough to come up with a clutch win against a top-ranked player. In the final seconds, the Fireball value blew me away as we knocked back the Phoenix and somehow secured the win. Every time a dirty Goblin Hut graveyard deck loses, the game gets a little bit better. Miracle wins against overpowered decks is one of my favorite things in Clash Royale. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an incredible rest of your day.